This is a collaboration between Trowbridge Town Hall and Wiltshire Rural Music. It was filmed in early 2021 during lockdown. All musicians were paid and it was recorded without an audience in line with COVID secure guidance. We want to keep music live and showcase all the amazing local musicians in our community. Please donate to our project if you can at trowbridgetownhall.com/donate. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to another Live at the Town Hall here at the Trowbridge Town Hall. We are absolutely giddy with excitement to be here, even though there's absolutely no one here. We put candles on the tables to make out like there are, and I'm going to imagine that every single one of you at home is literally in this room. So it's a pleasure. Hello, welcome. I'm Gavin Osborn. This is John Hare, otherwise known as the comment section, and we are we're delighted. It's all part of Wiltshire Rural Music and Trowbridge Town Hall's initiative to get some live stuff back in the middle of a pando, as I like to call it. And yeah, it's just delightful to be back. And if you've never seen me before, this opening song is kind of a little window into what kind of thing I do, and it's called What Kind of Thing. It goes like this. Guitar in front of an audience, mostly in the minors and the majors. It's just three chords but they're played in different orders, and I'm prone to too much self-deprecation. Well, it's acoustic folk with the emphasis on rhyming, with well-worn and tried and trusted tropes. I'm a cut-price atheist, pound shop on Simon, with a rolling cast of awkward misanthropes. Still, if you ask me, what kind of thing is it that I do? Well, I will answer, I don't have a bloody clue. Still, I'm scared of revealing myself to you, because the truth is probably hiding in the tracks. Anyway, you don't really want to hear my story, do you? There's only so much light between the cracks, and I make records, yeah, but I can't seem to sell them, because I just can't describe them in a blur. And I'm better live than I am on the album, so if you don't like this, maybe give those a swerve. Still, if you ask me, what kind of thing is it that I do? Well, I will answer, I just sing these songs for you. And there are Tory bashing incursions into some social commentary, and stories in third person, yeah, but they're all versions of me. And if I sense a tense atmosphere and you're at home getting bored, I just stick a capo higher up on my guitar fretboard. Maybe I'll sing something edgier higher up in my vocal register. Thank you. It's like if Billy Bragg swapped barking for Bedford, if Jim Croce met John Hegley in a shower, if you cross Pat Sharp with early Rob Redford. That's what it's like to sit and watch me for about an hour. And the best way to get some of you to listen is to hit you right in that funny bone. Yeah, but after that occurs, I'm on a mission to make you cry before your night bus home. And well, sometimes there's the piano, but mostly it's just me. And I'm always seeking validation just for existing in this place. Oh, you regret asking that question, obviously, because I clearly sing these songs just for me. Yeah. Hey! Oh, it's nice to be back. Well done. John, it's a pleasure to see see you again.
It's lovely to see you, mate. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for keeping your 2 metres distance. Do not encroach.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a great start to 2021, having a gig that we knew was coming, and I think it's like a lot of people knew the vaccine was coming, and except this is like our version of being over 80. We got to know that we were going to play in front of no one at the Trowbridge Town Hall, so yeah, it's a thrill. John, you've also been working since 2021 began, because you are a teacher.
Yes, mate. I've been teaching online, doing a bit of teaching on Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all that sort of thing. So it's been a slog, mate. But yeah, excellent to be here.
I thought I'd be great at it. I mean, without meaning to disparage your entire profession, I thought it was going to be pretty easy. And then my own kids, which I've only got 2 people in my classroom, and I'm terrible. They hate me. They absolutely. I mean, they may have done already, but they have more reason to now, because I don't know anything about anything, it turns out.
But you need to know so much, though, don't you? Like, you need to know about animals and species and wars and geography.
That's
it's
exactly
just endless.
it. And that's exactly it. And I think, you know, the thing that maybe you didn't have with your parents, but whenever I was struggling with maths at home, my dad would say, you know, do it like this, and we'd write out the sum for me, and I'd be like, that's not how they do it anymore, Dad. Times have changed. Move on, Granddad. And you know, and that's exactly what my kids say to me now. That's not how we do it, Dad! And they're furiously stomping upstairs. But the reason I bring it up is because ages ago you had an Ofsted inspector in your school, and what did she say?
Well, she came to watch my music class, and in the feedback after the lesson, she told me that there was too much music in my music lesson, and the kids were playing the instruments too much, and they should really be learning about, you know, theory and all that sort of thing. So I told Gav, and then Gav wrote this song about it. Yeah, it made me pretty angry. But yeah, this song's called Be Creative. It goes like this. With all of my savings, I bought this block of wood, and I've learned how to make it talk. Today my bedroom, tomorrow the world. I'm strumming before I can walk. In this small town, there's a factory plant with no other signs on the road. But each time I pick up this old 6-string guitar, it's like pulling the sword from the stone. My dad says, son, you need a proper career, something more conservative. And I shout that I don't just want to make a living, it's far more important to live. Standing on 20-year-old kitchen tiles, he's shaking his head, but somewhere in his eyes, I swear I see more than a flicker of pride. He holds on to my shoulders and says, grab a pen and some paper, you do, it'll need hard work. No one owes you a living in the real world. You're just gonna have to be creative. And the free school they built just a few miles away turned out to be far too expensive. So my favourite teacher taught music to me in my small town comprehensive. With her head in her hands, she said, powers that be, tell me I can't teach you how to play. They said, there's too much music in your music lesson, I can't carry on this way. And as she cleared out her desk, I picked up my guitar, and the whole class just burst into song. In a world of more testing and relentless assessment, you taught us not to fear being wrong. They think poetry, painting, theatre and art are just hobbies to us, but we reach for the stars. They may have full wallets, we've got full hearts. And she stood in the doorway and said that success in this world has no reason or rhyme. future rush in. Oh, to hell with the choices you tell me to make. I'm ready to build my own track. My education will be full of mistakes. No curriculum can hold me back. I'm just gonna have to be more creative. And I'm gonna blow this town today. I'm just gonna have to be more creative. And nothing's gonna stand in my way.
That was nice.
That was nice. Yeah, my favourite bit of the inauguration. Did you see the inauguration of President Biden? It was really good. I mean, like, if the lockdown and stuff has taught us anything, it's that you can cry at the smallest and weirdest things.
Mate.
And I found myself weeping to Lady Gaga singing the national anthem. I was like, okay, this is definitely an unusual time. It was just so powerful. But at the end of, I think it was Jennifer Lopez did a song. I think it was This Land Is Your Land, Woody Guthrie. And it was great. But then Amy Klobuchar, the Democrat who came up to speak, just sort of like a sort of aunt at a wedding, came straight back on afterwards and went, well, that was great. it was just such a lovely thing, like at an inauguration, and you saying, well, that was nice after that. That's what that reminded me of.
Oh, it's just so nice to just play music and
Innit?
blow the trumpet and oh, glorious, loved it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Well, okay, this next one is a bit of a gear shift, I suppose. It's a song about. I've mentioned my kids. That's not that much of a gear shift. It's about my son Bertie and a thing that happened to him and us as a family when we were out in London a few years back when he was 2. Bertie's got a 99 ice cream cone. He's never loved anything quite like that ice cream cone. Here in Hyde Park, just before the sky turned dark. He's had picnics, pedalos and feeding ducks time. Slides and swings, hide and seek and a zip line. Yeah, but make no mistake, it's all been leading up to this chocolate flake. Then a vision in tweed changes the scene, with his 3-piece suit, long socks, checked shirt and tie on. There's no disguising that beneath his hunting hat is the face of Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons. Bertie spotted something else entirely. It's a border terrier barking at him, and yeah, he's bloody tiny. Oh, but when you're only 2, might as well be an escaped lion from the zoo. And of course that dog belongs to Mr. Irons. And when dog meets ice cream, it's not rocket science. It feasts its eyes on Bertie's chocolate-covered prize. And he starts to scream, his whole world falls apart, 'cause that ice cream was all he had left to rely on. We all gather round and try and calm him down. Yes, folks, including Mr. Jeremy Irons. And he says, oh, man up. Come on, man up. What's the bloody matter with you, boy? The dog jumps up and down. Come on, man up. Just man up. That ice cream goes crashing to the ground. And we're too busy thinking, fuck me, that's Jeremy Irons. To really even hear this remark. Why is he dressed up like a member of the Countryside Alliance? I don't know, maybe he's filming something here in Hyde Park. Oh, but when it sinks in, we're all back in the car. He was in The Lion King, you know, the voice of Scar, and though Bird's fast asleep, you say that you've got a hang-up. And anyone who has the nerve to tell someone to man up is sexist, outdated and misogynistic. We really should have called him on it, we should have risked it. Because there's nothing that so inflames my ire as a country gent in full hunting attire. And well, if that's what manning up is, then I guess I'm not a man. Being rude to little kids in nappies, I will never understand. I would rather wear a ball gown or go out without my clothes than stand here in some plus fours showing off my vintage brogues. Because Bertie can be scared of whatever he wants to be, and we really shouldn't even need to mention that we won't revisit Brighton now or any merchant ivories, and we're never gonna rewatch Die Hard with a vengeance, because I should have said it at the time, but the sweet revenge I'm choosing is best served at the box office by not going to his next movie. Yeah, that'll bloody show it, won't it, guys? So now Bert's watching My Little Pony. Pinkie Pie and Twilight Sparkle are his favourite ponies, and his little face just beams out of the letters page in that pony magazine. Thanks very much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. That is all an entirely true story. So much so that I had to go home and Google Jeremy Irons' dog to make sure that it was a border terrier, and indeed it was. And it turns out he's got previous. Who was it? Who was in the news? A famous author who died recently had a real. Was it John le Carré?
It was John le Carré. That's right.
John le Carré had that. Yeah, he apparently blocked him from getting cast in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy because he had problems with Jeremy Irons' dog. Yeah, so it goes back. Right, John, let's do this one. I don't know if this ever happens to you guys at home, but more often than not these days, when you have people over, or even if you have people on Zoom now, and they start sort of talking politics or whatever, you can play along, and you tend to play along assuming a sense of knowledge that you don't actually have. And I've been doing that for far too long until someone said to me, why don't you just say that you don't know enough about that and leave it at that? And you know, you can, every day's a school day, you might learn something. And so that's what I've been trying to do. This song's called Don't Know Enough About That, and about trying to introduce a sense of ignorance as bliss. It goes like this. Well, I'm at a dinner party, tucking into the wine, stuck in a conversation about Israel and Palestine. I remember something that Tony Benn said, that should fit in fine. If there's a God, he's not an estate agent, I'll pretend that's one of mine. But after that big impression, I'm now way out of my depth, and there's no going back for chit-chat. And I haven't got the guts to say, don't know enough about that.
Gav, can anything be done about the homogenisation of town centres?
Don't know enough about that, John.
Mate, what's a fronted adverbial?
Oh mate, you've heard about my homeschooling. I don't know enough about that at all.
And are fishing rights more important than a musician's right to play if these are free in Europe?
It would certainly seem so, wouldn't it? Anyone?
If a clock is right twice a day, is that also true of Julia Hartley-Brewer?
Nope, she is always consistently 100% wrong. Now, there's an online petition about boycotting Nestle. I know it's bad, but I don't know in what way. Is it something about baby formula past its sell-by date? Or is it forcing kids to drink breast milk for minimum wage? Absolutely no idea. Anyway, I'm gonna have my name to doubt as though I don't know the facts. I'll sit down with my cuppa and I'll eat my Kit Kat. I just wish I could say Don't know enough about that.
How do you feel about neoliberalism and transphobia in the cancel culture era?
Awful, isn't it? Don't know enough about that.
How do you leave a WhatsApp group without looking like you're flancing off in a huff?
Don't know enough about that.
Why don't birds get electrocuted when they land on an electrical wire?
Don't know enough about that at all.
And how does Archimedes' principle explain why ships float?
Oh, it's something to do with the displacement of water. When you put something in of a certain weight, whatever water comes out is this. I've been learning about it with Hump, and he's 8 and he understands it, and I've got no idea. And I know when I watch TV news on the Syrian crisis, I can't finish the report without just crying my eyes out. But before my tears are dry, I'm just checking my status, scrolling through photos of friends on exotic vacations. And after 5 minutes, laughing at a video of a cat falling off a piano. And I'm with my wife shopping for tools to build a shed. She needs drill bits and a hacksaw and wood chip for the bed, and the man in the shop just ignores my wife and instead directs all advice to me, but I haven't a clue what he said. It's something about leaving the base, some room to breathe, and nod along as she just rolls her eyes and turns to leave. I just wish I could say, speak to her, mate, I don't know enough about that.
Mate, if there's no audience in Trowbridge Town Hall, is it a real gig or is it just a fancy sound check?
It's a fancy sound check.
And what does oven ready even mean? Does it mean ready for the oven or ready to be taken out of the oven?
Don't know enough about that.
And what does GIF stand for and how do you pronounce it?
I think if it's GIF, then it's a cleaning product? GIF, General Image Fountain? I don't know.
Does the person flying in the middle seat on an aeroplane get both armrests?
I think so, because the person nearest the window gets the window, and the person nearest the aisle gets the aisle, so I think the least the person in the middle can get is both armrests.
And finally, mate, a farmer has a box of chicken and a bag of grain.
Not this!
How does he sleep at night?
That's a good question. Don't know enough about that. There's another verse, but I think that's enough, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to slight gear shift now. This next one is it's a song that I don't know. I'm just going to play it. An armrest isn't big enough for both of us. Still he seems to want to take it all. Overcrowded train, pausing in a tunnel. I'm insignificant and small. When standing I'm 6 feet of bone and muscle. Arms outstretched, I guess I am the same. But I need a little room these days, envious of the tree that sways alone, separate from all the others. Eyes fixed firmly to the floor. Feels like I'm always in this place. I guess all I'm looking for is space. Just a little space. Face covered with my palms, I can't imagine that I'm flying over this like a canary, looking down on everything, my beating wings of cinnamon, the closest that I get to solitary. All cosmic dust and galaxy explosions. Our bodies were all created together. Spending time apart might give us all some more perspective till the next great supernova. So read the room and look away. Picture that look upon my face. I guess all I want today is space. Just a little space. space. Just a little space. With space. With space. Just a little space. Okay, right, this next one. John and I, last year, no God, it's 2019 now, isn't it?
2019, yeah.
Yeah, 2019. The good old days. Did a gig, a house gig, for a woman who I'd met once at another gig, who said, oh, do you want to come and play in my house? And I don't normally do them, and I said, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. And John and I went down, and it was just our favourite gig of the year by a long way, and it was something. There were about, I don't know, 20 people there, maybe not even that, in quite a large kitchen, but a lovely, lovely place. There was a cat running around, and it was special. It was really, really special. And so I wrote about that night, and this song's called Caroline's Kitchen. I think it goes like this. We walk in, there's a chicken satay on the stove, past the three-legged cat by the door. Move some furniture into the alcove, make some room for an amp and a keyboard. Dave hands me a cider, a drink from a mug, past the picture of cows on the wall. Caroline throws her arms wide, the warmest of hugs, although we only met once before. And I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm home. Caroline's kitchen. Caroline's kitchen. Well, if that Formica Island could talk, I'm sure it'd tell some incredible stories. All the singers and songs that have played here before in this vinyl floorboard auditorium. By bay windows baked in the glow of fairy lights, we play misses and hits and crowd pleasers. There's a buzz of excitement in the air tonight, or maybe that's just the fridge freezer. 'Cause we feel like we're home. Oh, we feel like we're home. The next time I think that I should give it all up, I'll know there's a home tucked in this cul-de-sac where 10 people or so feel like 10,000 to me. The light's fading outside like invisible ink, but there's still some time left and there's still rum to drink and decisions to make on what our funeral song should be. Well, the cat's on his pillow, John's too scared to sleep. Dave takes his glasses and refills them. And it's Sarah and Phil's 5th gig this week. Liam's playing the chords to no children. But how is it that some people that you barely know will feel like a memory foam sofa? Well, I'm under a spell at a hypnotist show, and I don't want this spell to be broken. 'Cause I feel like I'm home. Oh, I feel like I'm home. who's by the door. When my casket is lowered, I won't know what's next. Which song to play loud as they lay me to rest. But anything from tonight will do fine. Play the 4/4 here at Caroline's Kitchen. Caroline's Kitchen, yeah. Caroline's Kitchen. Caroline's Kitchen. Oh, mate, that trumpet.
Oh,
Cornet, sorry.
it is a corner.
Gets me every time. Okay, during the first of many lockdowns, I mean, they all need names now, don't they? Lockdown, obviously the first one was called Lockdown, then Lockdown 2, Judgment Day, then Lockdown 3 with a Vengeance or something. I don't know what we're in now. But the first one, I had my first brush with actual fame where, I guess, I don't know how many, it was almost 1 million, I think, people watched this song because of Russell Howard. I did it on the Russell Howard show, and he's got actual fans, and it was an interesting experience. But this is a song about and for the NHS, and it's called Born in the NHS, and it goes like this. You brought my son into this world, kicking, screaming and red. On the radio you played the song Footloose. And when I rushed him in with a hole in his forehead, like an art project, you just stuck it back with glue. And I never had to pay to see my podiatrist, cause you're not encumbered by such market forces. But I won't forget that day, or his official diagnosis, that my feet had far more in common with horses. And you will be there even if we lack the means. You will always be free at the point of need. All the lives that you have saved, from the cradle to the grave, we will fight for you in our last breath, cause we were born in the NHS. Oh, we were born in the NHS. And even in the 80s, you stood for universal fairness, back when dentists gave us sweets for good behaviour. And Bevan would be proud to see more mental health awareness. You're the ones on the front line trying to save us. £20 billion in cuts might help to keep those bankers sweet, but then you wonder why the wards are fit to bursting. And as that banner said, when millions marched on Downing Street, why don't you leave the cutting to the surgeons? Cause you will be there even if we lack the means. You will always be free at the point of need. All the lives that you have saved, from the cradle to the grave, we will fight for you in our last breath, cause we were born in the NHS. Oh, we were born in the NHS. Unbroken light bulbs, carrots and prosthetic arms, you pull them out when our bodies reject them. When you slip and fall and accidentally cause harm, how else did they end up there in our rectums? Your patience for our patients, from GPs to A&E, deserves respect and we won't let you fail. No, we will stand and say to every private company, hands off our NHS, it's not for sale. But all my clothes, my shoes, my records, they all belong to me. I'll protect what's mine inside my own four walls. But the best thing that I own I share with my society, because the NHS belongs to us all. Last time! And you will be there even if we lack the means. You will always be free at the point of need. All the lives that you have saved, from the cradle to the grave, we will fight for you in our last breath, cause we were born in the NHS. Oh, we were born in the NHS. Yeah, we were born in the NHS. Okay, this both John and I, we met when our wives were doing NCT, or they were babies or something, weren't they? They weren't even born. Was that right?
Some antenatal class, wasn't it?
Antenatal class, yeah, God. And yeah, John lives in Keynsham, which is where the wives met and everything, and it was really lovely to meet him. It was like, I just moved here from London and kind of went, I don't know anyone, and everyone I'm going to meet now is going to be some sort of awful dad that I have to like, not that I actually do. And I met John, and it was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. But because he lives in Keynsham, I spent a lot of time in Keynsham, and so this song is for and about a particular shop there. It's a key cutters and a cobblers, and it's been there for a long, long time. And round about nearby, all sorts of buildings and stuff were getting knocked down and replaced with newer buildings, and I could sort of see that creeping homogenisation kicking in. And I wrote this, and it's all about the cobblers. It's called Starsix. When I first came over here from Poland, this town was as a paradise to me. The smell of chocolate was a joy for a small 10-year-old boy, spending hours gazing at that factory. Now that factory has gone the way of history, and in the faded photograph on my wall, oh, so much has changed, only my cobbler still remains in the same place we have been since the war. I used to sit on the old two-county stone with 1 foot in Gloucestershire, 1 foot in Somerset. Shield my daughter from the cold in this place that I call home. Proud to call myself an immigrant. The Dapshill flood, it tried to sweep us off the high street, but my family, we didn't down our tools. Here at 51B we have left our legacy, like Horace Bachelor and his football pools. I want my daughter and granddaughter to grow up here, to be part of a strong community, to learn from our mistakes, to fight the serpents and the snakes, like St. Cana did in the 5th century. Supermarkets, fast food restaurants, cafe lattes meant they tore the old ironmongers down. Chain after chain, now every high street looks the same, and they're stealing the heart of the town. But when times are tough and I feel like I'm broken, and hardship leaves me angry, sick and scared, I look over at you and at the soles of my shoes, and know there's nothing that can't be fixed or repaired. This is the one I get asked to do most of all. It's called Albert Went Out to See Rock Bands. If you were here in the room with us at Trowbridge Town Hall right now, you would, if I hadn't played this, you'd have almost certainly bottled me or thrown fruit. Play Albert, you monkey! book on household plants gently slipped from her grasp, and her breathing became deeper, familiar and calm, and only when she'd shifted her body weight slightly and sunk her head into the softer of those two duck-feathered pillows, only then did Albert lean over to his wife's side of the bed, flick the lamp off, and then in total darkness and wearing his trusty blue striped pyjamas, heaved his heavy frame from his fake slumber, made his way carefully past the cumbersome ottoman and the precarious shoe rack. Trying not to breathe, he was silent, he was stealth. Aware of every creak on the staircase, he used her fluffy slippers as a softener, cushioning each footstep on the way down. At the foot of the stairs was a cupboard, and inside, behind a secret panel, was his costume. He disrobed, briefly naked, guiltily and excitingly nude, in his own house so late at night. The costume had thrilled him and made him giggle in practically equal measure. Tight jeans, black tight t-shirt with the words Iron Maiden writ large. He pulled on his leather jacket and his Doc Martens, and he went out into the cold. 'Cause you see, Albert went out to see rock bands and stayed up till the morning light. You're only as old as you feel, they say, and Albert was feeling alright. Well, a 77-year-old man headbanging in a mosh pit can go easily unnoticed, especially when everyone else is headbanging in a mosh pit. And though Albert felt uncomfortable at times, well, that was mostly due to the lack of give in his jeans. He felt joyful, he felt alive. In fact, the louder the music, the more he enjoyed it. This pastime meant for teenagers, but he embraced the strangeness, the sweat of a stranger, the thud, the bassline pumping through his veins. At one point, Albert threw both arms up in the air, pulled his two middle fingers down with his thumbs, and made the rock gesture as hundreds of kids moved as one, with him in their throng, screaming words to the songs they'd all learned in their bedrooms at home. When the band finished playing, he went out into the street in search of more adventures, reveling in his late blooming teenage rebellion. Still the clock, it ticked on in his bedroom at home as his wife, fast asleep, was seemingly unaware he was buying cheap cider and eating an offensively large kebab from a confused high street vendor. He intended to stay up as late as he could, soaking up the motion of cars, but he got himself lost in a park, played drunken air guitar. Still the clock ticked on in his bedroom at home as he recaptured a batch of his youth all alone. 'Cause you see, Albert went out to see rock bands and stayed up till the morning light. You're only as old as you feel, they say, and Albert was feeling alright. Around 5 a.m, Albert found his way back to his street as the sun peeked its face behind a neatly oval-shaped hill, heralding the dawn of the day. He looked up at his house and then down at his shoes, those Doc Martens still as black as the night was 2 hours before. Oh, this has been brilliant, Albert said out loud. Then he bent down, pulled his shoes off and undid his yellow laces, and he tied them together. He threw them up to the sun-dusted sky, landing perfectly on the electrical wires, like on the streets of New York, next to 5 other pairs that he'd thrown there before. Quietly opened the front door, poured himself out of his t-shirt and his jacket and his jeans, found his blue striped pyjamas, crept back upstairs, got back into bed and fell instantly asleep. Albert's wife opened her eyes and looked through the crack in the curtains onto a line of dirty black boots. She smiled to herself, just pleased that he'd made it home safe. Thanks very much, everyone. We're going to do one more and then and love you and leave you, and you can get on with the rest of your day. Or if you're watching this at 4 in the morning, go to bed, you idiot, for the love of God. Actually, no, don't. There's no need. Nothing's happening tomorrow. Probably it's another day. It's exactly the same as the one before. Lockdown, we can do it. It's going to be all right. Do you play?
No, I don't, so I'm going to leave you to it, mate.
All right.
Can I just say before I go, thank you to everyone at Wiltshire Rural Music for putting this on. This is such a good thing to do, and I know you won't say anything because you kind of organised it, but you deserve a big round of applause, as does everyone at Wiltshire Rural Music, for organising this and putting this online. So thank you to everyone, and Trowbridge Town Hall, and everyone who's helped organise these gigs. And I don't want to spoil your continuity or whatever, but I got to see an actual gig tonight. I got to see Stevie Brown, and it was absolutely amazing. And that's the first gig I've been to in like a year. So I've loved it. So thank you so much for having us, everybody.
Yes,
I'm going to go now.
Yes, Mr. John Hare, the comments section himself. Thanks, mate. I second absolutely all of that. And also I'd like to extend my thanks to David at the Town Hall, to Jess at the Town Hall, and to Kieran, who you can't see, who is on Sound and Lights and has been brilliant. So yeah, please, if you can donate to our charity, the Wiltshire Rural Music Charity, that's brilliant. If you could donate to the Town Hall, even better. I'm going to do the last one, and it's sort of a bit of a mantra for me, even in terrible times. And I know I wrote this because of the government, but I think it stands true now. It's called I Think It's Going to Be All Right, and it goes like this. Not sure I can pay my tax bill, and I'm struggling to sleep at night. Feel like I'm always falling through the cracks still. I think it's gonna be alright. Trying to make a case for the government, swinging further off to the right, but flying in the face of all the evidence. Somehow I think it's gonna be alright. Cause I sing these songs and I beat my chest, I drink with friends and then I feel that it'll work out for the best. I hold my girl, hold my kids real tight, and I think it's gonna be alright. I'm over 40, I often feel defeated by all the things I haven't done with my life. But if I say it to the mirror and just repeat it, maybe everything will be alright. Big smoke kicked us like a tin can back to this Somerset starlight. But while we're under Echo Bridge here in Cation, maybe everything will be alright. Cause they say it's always darkest right before the dawning. The neighbour's dog is always barking at 6 in the morning. So pick a side to fight against and be the one to stick a thorn in. This is the only life you'll ever get to be born in. And I think I'll get some sleep tonight, and I think it's gonna be alright. Thank you very much, everyone. See you again sometime at an actual gig.